Oh, sorry, just changing a kid's diaper. If you love your country, you serve her. We must remember that we are Americans. First and only when we come together and serve our country can we begin a new chapter for our nation.
Father, a husband, a son, a musician, a businessman, a politician, and an American. Jon Huntsman has the qualities and the commitment that will secure our country to our vision of liberty, opportunity, and justice. Born in Palo Alto, California in the American West, to Jon and Karen Huntsman, Jon grew up where the view was limitless, and in it, he saw America's potential. His father was a businessman who was one of the greatest influences in his life.
One of my biggest role models has been my dad. He has been an epitome of the American dream, coming from a rural farm in Idaho to building such a large corporation. And his entrepreneurship spirit and work ethics has taught me to have faith and be a man of integrity. My father always told me who we are, what we become, and the footsteps we will leave in life is entirely based on our own determination, hard work, education, and sacrifice.
At an early age, he learned about community involvement when he became an Eagle Scout while attending Highland High School in Salt Lake City. Before graduation, Jon faced a decision and pursued his passion for music and left high school to play in his band, Wizard.
I don't regret following my passions. It was an important chance to stand on my own 2 feet.
You didn't know Jon was Jon? He was like one of the guys. That was one of the things that was so neat about him. He was a really grounded kid.
Eventually, Huntsman left the band to serve his Mormon missionary in Taiwan.
During my time as a missionary, I lived in cockroach-infested dives, rising at dawn to memorize Chinese characters, teach English, and proselytize door to door. You develop your core. You develop your strengths. You get to see your own country, your own world, a little differently.
He traded rock and roll for work in the Reagan White House, following the example of his father, who once served as staff secretary for Richard Nixon. For the next 20 years, Huntsman's professional life alternated between political appointments in the federal government under President Bush Sr., President Bush Jr., President Clinton, and President Obama, and working for his family chemical business.
I first saw Mary across the courtyard of my high school, and I swear she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen.
They worked part-time together in a Levi's store in the Marie Callender's pie shop, but didn't date until years later when they reconnected. When Jon came back from Taiwan, she was the first person he wanted to see. When he went to work in the Reagan White House on the advance team, and she had a summer job in Washington, D.C., they became a couple and married soon thereafter in 1983.
33 years ago, I became the luckiest girl in the world by saying yes. While it was years in the making, we both just knew that there was something there. Jon calls it chemistry. As the old saying goes, best friends make the best lovers. The night before he asked me to marry him, he said, "I hope you're ready for an exciting life." So when this job came up, I really didn't even bat an eye.
Huntsman and his wife had their first child, Mary Ann, in 1985, while Huntsman was serving in the Reagan administration. The two have a total of 7 kids, with 2 of them being adopted, Gracie May and Asha.
We adopted Grace May in the winter of 1999. She was one of my greatest Christmas presents. I remember discussing names. What about Grace May Huntsman? May means beauty in Chinese. Grace seemed like a natural name for someone my family had not even met, who had brought so much grace to our family. She created a mood in our family, a reverential mood based on compassion and love.
We adopted Asha in 2006. The family chose the name because Asha means hope and Bharati means India.
Both Gracie and Asha were born into unfortunate consequences, and that serves as a reminder to me that the rest of my family and that this world is full of kids that were born with no hope and no dignity and no shot at life. And the lessons that my family and I have learned through it all has just been extraordinary.
John's prominent presence in politics include being ambassador to Singapore, ambassador to China, governor of Utah, and ambassador to Russia. John's optimism has helped Utah immensely by implementing a plan for jumpstarting Utah's economy, including historic tax reform. He simplified the tax structure and cut taxes by more than $400 million, the largest tax cut in the state's history. Furthermore, he utilized his skills as a businessman to improve his state.
John used his business experiences and used it to benefit Utah's economy, bringing Utah to becoming ranked number 1 in job growth during the nation and number 4 in the country in job creation. He helped eliminate corporate franchise tax for small businesses. He has continually displayed solid leadership throughout his service as the governor of Utah.
At 32 years old, when he was ambassador to Singapore, he was the youngest U.S. ambassador to serve in over 100 years. John's experience in China was unique, as he often traveled to events on bicycle rather than the standard limousine. His humble presence overseas, while living among the population, allowed him to reflect on the significance of justice and compromise foreign relations.
Being an ambassador to multiple countries like Singapore and China not only was a profound political experience for me, but it gave me a new perspective of life. Being exposed to cultures outside of the United States created a greater connection with not only myself, but also a tremendous respect for others. I find myself not too different from the politicians I've worked with abroad, in such a way where we all come from is a foundation of good morals and values. I've learned how to be more open-minded towards people and new unorthodox ideas, and not disclose myself to my comfort zone. Although everyone is entitled to their own opinions, I believe that it is crucial to acknowledge the other side before making a judgment.
My name is John Huntsman, and I'm officially running for president. I am proud of my service to this country. If you love your country, you serve her. During a time of war, during a time of economic hardship, when asked to serve your country in a sensitive position where you can actually bring a background to help your nation, I am the kind of person who's going to stand up and do it. And I will take that philosophy to my grave.
John Huntsman is in the race not only for himself, he is in it to improve the lives of the American people.
I am a leader who is going to unify, who is going to bring us together, because that is what leadership is all about. It's not about taking on different groups and vilifying them for whatever reason. It's about projecting a vision for a more hopeful tomorrow. That is why there's no trust in this country today. And that is why, as president, I am going to attack that trust deficit just as aggressively as I attack that economic deficit.
He knows how to compromise, he knows about the economy.
He is definitely qualified for the position as Commander-in-Chief, and I know he will succeed in his promise to the American people.
The reality, sitting 10,000 miles away, is that we remain the country that inspires. We remain that shining city on a hill.